When I first said I was gonna go to Harvard University, I was in phase program in Norfolk. I had my moment. And I said, I'm going home, I'm going to Harvard.
Right.
People looked at me like, you going where? I said, I'm going home, I'm going to Harvard University. They're like, Dre, you in lockup right now.
Mm-hmm.
You in lockup for being out of control. You just got time added to your sentence. You've been in hold for 2 years. This is like, you just came back from the federal ship out. And they started telling me all the reasons I couldn't achieve the goal that I set for myself.
Right.
And the problem was, my friends, because that's what they were, my friends were trying to hold me in who I was yesterday. Wednesday morning when I woke up, I was Andre the old guy.
Right.
Thursday morning, I was Andre the new guy. They didn't know Andre the new guy. They knew Andre the old guy. So they spoke to me like I was Andre the old guy. Right. The guy that wanted to run around and get in trouble and be cool and the rest of that stuff. I was like, no, I want to be Andre the new guy. They're like, we don't know him. He doesn't exist. We're not going to acknowledge him because you're trying to introduce somebody to us that we don't want to know.
Right.
So the best thing and the worst thing happened when I told my friends I want to go to Harvard. The worst thing that happened is nobody believed me. These are dudes that I got love for and I've been rolling with and all the rest of that wonderful stuff. Nobody believed me. That was the worst part. The best part was nobody believed me.
Mm-hmm.
Because had any one of them said, Dre, I believe you, let's go, I'd have tried to take them with me. I'd have tried to take them with me. Because that's how we live. We're all in this together. Mm-hmm. I wanted all of us to go.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So when they opted out, it forced me to go by myself, which made the goal attainable.
Right.
Me trying to take 10 cats out of phase program in Norfolk to Harvard would have been a harder mission.
Right.
Getting me there was hard enough. Getting me plus 10 would have been a little bit harder. But the long story short is I made it. I got my fellowship at Harvard. My wife actually has a degree from Harvard. My son's on track for Harvard. I've given too many speeches at Harvard to count. So I've lived my Harvard dream.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I got my email when I was working there. It was crazy. To me, to be at Harvard Law School was just like a whole nother world. But when my friends told me that they didn't believe,
right,
it just meant I didn't have to take them with me. So sometimes when we have a goal, the best thing that can happen is our friends don't want to go with us. Because we don't know, I had a problem. I don't say we. I had a problem with separating from my friends. And sometimes the goals are for me individually, not us collectively.
Like you said, stick to your goals, man. You know, some of you may not have goals right now, but you know, you can choose something that you're good at and flip it to where you're gonna get a better response instead of the worst response. As we say, you know, get into some different programs that you may have never been involved with. You know, you never met it, never went to the law library, never went down to the education department. You know, try it out, try something new, you know, and believe me, you feel much better about yourself.
I'll do this on our last round. My why. My why for staying focused, my why for staying the course. And I know during my 14 years inside, my mother was embarrassed to say my name. It was nothing I was doing that was positive, constructive, or worthy of mentioning. She would go to work, and in case you don't know, all moms do is talk about their kids. Mm-hmm. So my mom would go to work, and they talk about their kids, and she'd have to leave me out. She would go to church, and after church, they have little meetings and the little gatherings, and she'd have to leave me out. Christmas and holidays and family stuff, she couldn't mention me for 14 years. And I didn't understand at the time how embarrassing that was, that you can't mention your child in public. And it was just like, that's gut-wrenching because you love your child, you birthed this child, and you raised this child, now you can't even mention their name in public because it's an embarrassment.
Right.
So when I finally got out and I got my life together and I realized that, I came to a place of saying, never again will I embarrass my mother. Never on the rest of this planet, never for the rest of her life, anywhere on this planet, would she be embarrassed to say my name. And that's my main goal. That's my main why. I love helping the brothers and sisters inside. I love doing it for my son. But but I owe her. I owe her a debt that I can't pay. And the best I can do is the best that I can do. And I can guarantee her that no matter where she goes or who she's in the room with, she can say her son's name with pride. And if you said, Cheryl, where's your son at? Oh, he's down in South Carolina making videos for the people back inside. Where's your son at last week? Oh, he was at the prison running a program. Or he's the first ever former gang leader or former prisoner to run a prison block with his friends. Or where was he the week before? Or he was out in California giving a lecture at a mastermind group. Or where's he gonna be next week? Oh, he's gonna be at Harvard University. He has an office. He has a speech. You wanna go? And no matter where I go, or where's he next week? I'm not sure, but I can guarantee you he's someplace doing something good. My mother goes to sleep every night not worrying about me and knowing I'm doing good. And for me, that's the best. And she's getting older now. I'm saying she's almost 80. And I don't know what comes after 80, but we counting every day as a blessing. But I went to her probably like 3 years ago. And I sat with her, and I'm doing well. And I said to her, I got my brothers and sisters. We might not all get along, but you ain't got to worry about them struggling, being homeless, being without. And that's what she wanted to hear. Because no mom wants to leave this planet knowing that any of their kids are struggling. And I said, no matter what, I don't care what has happened or where we've ever been with our relationships, I got it. I said, I got it. I said, I got it. And that's what it was. I mean, to be able to do that was, for me, huge. Because I always say, I'm just like her. Right. And to do that part, so I will always keep employment. And she could care less if I worked at Home Depot. Right. As long as she can say, my son's doing well, he's taking care of his kid, he's helping his siblings, that's all that matters. For her, if I work at the White House, if I work at Home Depot, she don't care. He's free, he's healthy, and he's doing the right thing. And for the rest of her days, I will stay free, healthy, and I'll do the right thing. Because she's never gonna have to go to sleep wondering about this one. You know what I'm saying? And I do the best to be supportive of my brothers and sisters so we can take all stress from her so she can live the rest of her life in peace. Because we put her through. I mean, all 6 of us. We put moms through. I'm sure everybody in the penitentiary feels the same way. But she had 6 hot ones. Right. Me, my brothers and sisters were no light work. And she dealt with us. And the coolest thing that she said, they was doing an interview with her after I came home. The lady said to her, your son has done a lot of horrible things. I'm saying, why have you never disowned him? She said, I've been disappointed many times. I've been heartbroken even more, but I would never disown my son.
My wise is that I do not want to go back to the penitentiary, because I know now that I can do better, meaning that, it was all upon us, when we did go, because we went to prison for the wrong reason. We wanted money. That was my reason. I wanted more money because I wanted things that I didn't know at the time that really didn't mean nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? Because material things today is not going to make me happy or satisfied. So I feel that, by me being out now and my why, because I want to live as long as I can live. And in prison, it's not guaranteed how long because of the illnesses and, a lot of other things. But, I feel that I can live longer on this side.
My why is, enough. Why is I had enough of doing all the things that I thought was right and I know better. That's my biggest why. And then it's like, the second half of my life is like me trying to pay back that debt that I owe my mom, something like you. I know I hurt my mom. I hurt my family, put it like that, not just moms, but everybody included in all my selfish intentions. And like you said, we choose our paths and we say like, all right, I'm in the game because I need money. But then that's just another excuse to be in the game. Because once I got money, I didn't never say like, all right, this is my exit. I still did things. I created a weak value system. Things I put so much value into, risk my life for, was weak. There ain't no excuse I can give like to say, all right, that's a good enough reason to be in prison.
Right.
So my why is like, man, let me give everything I can in this second half of life to my mom, my family, my son, my daughters. You know what I'm saying? That's the most important part of it now. So if you ask me why, no, it's like I'm tired of the mistakes that I put myself in.
Right.
The choices I put myself in. No mistakes, choices.
I have one more thing. I have a goal that I want. My goal right now, not only to live a long time, but at some point in time, I want to have a farm. I don't know what made me think about having a farm.
You're a country boy. You was born in Georgia.
But I think that will enhance my living as far as, my vegetables and all that stuff. And you have space. You know what I'm saying? You can do, a lot of stuff you want to do with like 10, 15 acres. A couple cows, a couple horses. Call one Nick, one Dre, whatever, feed, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's,
Oh, no, don't name a cow after me, then eat it.
Not to the horse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or make glue out of it.
Yeah. But at the same time, that's one of my goals, to one day have a farm. I was going to put a time frame on it, but I think right now, I'll have one day,
Your closing goal is you want a farm. Your closing goal.
Man, I want to be everything to my son.
That's right.
That's my goal.
My closing goal is, I don't know who the president's going to be at the time. Doesn't matter. I want the president of the United States to call me and say, Andre, I'm appointing you the czar of prisons. We've had a drug czar. We've had a health czar. We've had all kinds of czar. The czar person for the presidency is supposed to be the person who fixes or oversees that thing in our country that makes it better. And for the last 20 years, 28 years, I counted 8 years before I came home. For the last 28 years, I've been working towards that. And it doesn't matter. I want the goal and the opportunity to be given to, yo, Dre, go do it. I mean, I've given TED Talks on it. I've been in prisons around the world helping and studying and building in Kentucky, South Carolina, West Africa. I've been all over the world working prison work. And it just came to me. I said, why not have the President of the United States call me and say, you know something, Dre? You're the best in this country, or the best person in this country to fix this problem. And this is something my mom taught me. She said, boy, you got a big mouth. And what's going to happen is one day they're going to call you up. They're going to sit you in that chair. They're going to say, okay, big mouth, what's the solution to the problem that you're screaming about? You got all this talk and all this loud talk. Now, what are your solutions for the problem? And when I don't have a solution, or should I not have a solution, she's going to say, you see, this is one of yours. This is the best and the brightest. He's up here running his mouth. We ask him for a solution and he ain't got one. So we're not listening to you. We're going to go with the way that we've been doing it, even though it hasn't worked out well for me. And my mom told me that when I was little. She said, stop running your mouth and go get a solution. I couldn't go to my mother with a problem. I had to come with a solution to whatever the problem was. If I didn't have a solution to the problem, she kicked me out of the room. So if I wanted something from the store, whatever it was, I had to have a solution, not just a need. And that's why, to this day, I think in formats of solutions. And if they ever called me to the White House and said, Mr. Norman, fix this problem, it's going to get fixed. That's right. When they called us to South Carolina, I don't know how many people thought we could actually do it.
Right.
We went a calendar year with no violence.
No violence.
Who thought it was possible?
Right.
We went with the solutions. You gotta have the right team. But my goal is that the president, whoever the sitting president is at the time, calls me up and says, heard about you. We got a job for you. You want it. And everything else will cease and desist. And everything else will stop. And that'll be my full-time job. Because I know it's not just about helping prisoners and helping inmates and helping staff and helping. It's a complete system that needs help. And I understand it from all angles.
I think you'd be good at that. So I think you handle the job.
I'm waiting on that. I want the job to be the prison czar for the United States of America. And I think I can get it done. And we can make this system not produce 70% recidivism. We can make this system, I'm saying, not as violent as it is. And I always say, prison is where people end up. It's not where they start.
Right.
So to fix the prison system, you don't even go to the prison.
Right.
If you say, Andre, you want to fix the prisons, where the first place you go? I say, I go to K1. What do you mean I'm going to go to a K1, K2 school? Because the school to prison pipeline is real. We all rode that bus.
Right.
We didn't start in prison, we ended up in prison.
Right.
So if we can cut off the source, that's step one. And as much as I love all my brothers and sisters inside, my first thought and my first responsibility is save the babies.
That's good.
Gotta save the babies. And we can save the babies, not at the expense of anybody behind the wall, but we can save the babies so they don't have to come behind the wall too.
Right.
So we put into place to cut off the source that's feeding in the prison. Then we come back and we fix what we have. What's behind these walls now. So step one to me in fixing the prison system is not even going to a penitentiary. It's going to early childhood education and fixing that. Because it's the illiteracy and the lack of opportunities and lack of belief in ourselves that lead us down that path. And that's the piece that's missing, because most people who are trying to fix drugs, you can't fix drugs. Drugs is where people end up. You can't. If I'm emotionally distraught, you can't take my drugs away, because I'm going to find some kind of drug regardless. So if I'm emotionally distraught, you can't take prison away. I'm going to find some form of prison. Prison could be a bad job, a bad relationship. It's not just the penitentiary. There's all kinds of prisons people lock themselves into.
Right.
So we want to just go at it holistically for everybody and help people become free from being incarcerated in bad jobs, in bad relationships, in addiction, as well as incarcerated. So I'm just waiting on that call. And then they'll say, not the ambassador of hope, but the czar of the prison system. And I will put myself out of work. Community conversations coming to you. And we appreciate you. We trust and we believe that you're going to do well. We're going to help you do well, because we're in this together. So with that, we will see you soon.